roll call. Ms. Golden.
Mayor Curley.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Blanks.
Here.
Alderperson Berry.
Here.
Blackwell. Here. Dunn. Here. Noah.
Here.
Mathis.
Here.
7 present.
All right, we have a quorum, so we will proceed. We're very pleased that Reverend Tom Murdoch is with us this evening. Ask that he step to the podium and offer our invocation. Ask everyone to please stand and remain standing as he leads us in the pledge of allegiance afterwards. Reverend Murdoch, you're recognized.
Thank you. Holy God, we ask that you come and draw us near, not just to you, but to one another. In a time when we are physically separated, may we listen with more intent. May our eyes, though sometimes fogged up with glasses, still help us to see one another. Into this fractured world, we ask that you bring wholeness. Help us, oh God, to once again see each other as brothers and sisters in this community and treating each one with respect and dignity. Help us, oh God, as we work through the issues of this community and beyond, as we try to be faithful to this community and building it up, encouraging one another. We ask you to come. Show us your Spirit that it might give us wisdom and bring us peace. We ask always in your holy name. Amen.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Murdoch. Appreciate you being with us as always. Thank you. Okay, we've got a couple of recognitions that I'm pleased to present. First is a proclamation you see on your agenda recognizing that this is Parks and Recreation Month. Whereas our parks and recreation are vitally important to establishing and maintaining the quality of life in our communities, ensuring the health of all citizens, and contributing to the economic and environmental well-being of a community and region. And whereas parks and recreation programs build healthy, active communities that aid in the prevention of chronic disease, provide therapeutic recreation services for those who are mentally or physically disabled, and also improve the mental and emotional health of all citizens. And whereas parks and recreation programs increase a community's economic prosperity through increased property values, expansion of the local tax base, increased tourism, the attraction and retention of businesses, and crime reduction. And whereas parks and recreation areas are fundamental to the environmental well-being of our community, and whereas parks and natural recreation areas improve water quality, protect groundwater, prevent flooding, improve the quality of the air we breathe, provide vegetative buffers to development, and produce habitat for wildlife. Whereas our parks and natural recreation areas ensure the ecological beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature and recreate outdoors. You know, that just about is everything, you know? Maybe we just turn this over to Parks and Rec and let them do the whole everything. Wow. Whereas the U.S. House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recreation Month, and whereas the City of Tullahoma recognizes the benefits derived from parks and recreation resources, now therefore be it resolved that I, Lane Curley, Mayor of Tullahoma, Tennessee, do hereby proclaim the month of July 2020 as Parks and Recreation Month in Tullahoma, and urge and beseech all citizens to recognize the same. So, Mr. Blake, do you want me to present this to you in the podium? And you've got some folks here, and I'll recognize you for anything you'd like to say. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to thank you for recognizing Parks and Recreation Department and recognizing the value it does present to the community. Maybe we could have better timing next year and read that before the budget's passed. But we'll take it this way, so we just like to thank the board.
Good. So, you know, a goal of ours has been to have a recreational fitness opportunity, recreational opportunity within half a mile of every citizen of Tullahoma. And we're getting close to that, getting closer and closer to that every year. So I understand and appreciate the importance of parks and recreation, and I'm sure everybody else does as well. So, again, let me... And you've got several members of your team here.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. You want to include them as well?
Yeah, sure.
Come on up.
We got it now. All right. One. One more, please. Work correct. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you very much.
Okay, next on the agenda, we'll recognize Ms. Moody at the podium for a presentation that she would like to make.
Okay, thank you. I'm happy to bring this back. We are recognizing an employee of the month, and this employee is one I'm particularly happy to recognize because sometimes I think the bar for what people think employee of the month has to be just extraordinary acts, out of the ordinary things. And to me, it's really important that we recognize people for just representing the values that we expect every day and being excellent at how they do that. And this employee is Abigail Allerup. She's a lifeguard and currently an aquatics leader. She's worked as a lifeguard at Splash Island since its opening in 2015. This year, she worked more hours than any other lifeguard and has an amazing attendance record. Abigail has shown a tremendous amount of leadership, integrity, and work ethic while maintaining her humble and kind nature. She started working as a shallow water lifeguard, then became a deep water lifeguard, and is now a lifeguard instructor. Another update since this nomination, she's continued to be a role model for other lifeguards. Very recently, we had a lifeguard that passed out and hit her head. Abigail responded immediately, getting someone to cover her stand, getting the employee to a safe location, comforting her while waiting for the ambulance, and cleaning up after the employee. She continues to teach others through her example and motivates the other aquatic staff to perform at a higher level. So while it's within the realm of possibility that I think she could save a life, she could do a lot of extraordinary things, I think it's really important that we recognize just her attitude and showing up every day, being a good model every single day is really important to us. So if I could, I would like to have her and Sheila and Rico join us. I'm sorry, Sheila. And Director Kurt Lick. And Kurt, if you would like to say any words, I'll turn it over to you.
I'm just real excited that Abigail received this honor. She certainly deserves it, and for any more comment, I'll turn it over to Sheila. She has some more to say.
Jennifer covered most everything about Abigail. I want to tell you personally what I've experienced with her on our team. I met her first year as a lifeguard at our pool and in training, and she struggled with CPR, really struggled. But now she is training other lifeguards to teach CPR. So it has been an honor and so personally rewarding to see Abigail transform from this timid and shy teenager to a confident young lady that is an excellent leader and role model. I feel that Tullahoma is blessed. I have been blessed to have her as an employee and on our team, and I look forward to witnessing the continued growth and leadership that she's going to provide for our community. The qualities that I admire most about Abigail are her very humble and kind spirit, that everyone around her witnesses on a daily basis, and it's always real and true. And I just love her. She is just a wonderful team member.
Wow.
Again, we're so proud of you. I will want to take a picture with you. You have an opportunity to speak to them. I was guessing that. But let's take a picture. And then hold your. Sorry, guys. I forgot. Somehow I know.
Ms. Rico? Ms. Rico, let me ask you a question, if you would. So, you're looking for more lifeguards?
This summer, no, but we'll need some for next summer. I can't do training right now because of social distancing. And, but next summer we will be looking for more, hopefully, we'll be looking for more, and the social distancing thing will be over.
So is there an age limit to be a lifeguard?
They can start when they're 15. They can go through training.
Really, I was asking what the upper limit was.
Do you want to work for us, Mr.
Well, I'm looking for a job, actually. And I did, 50 years ago this summer, I did earn my lifeguard designation.
Yeah, that's it.
Is it still good?
Now we have things to assist us with our rescues, whereas before you didn't. So, but you are welcome to join our training.
Sign him up.
It's a good one.
Good. Mr. Mathis was there 50 years ago. He was the supervisor of the pool, so he could vouch that I was a lifeguard, right?
So I've done-
Well, we got close. No, he was.
That was the pool behind where the Senior Citizen Center is now.
That's where, yeah.
Some of you
we
might
were over
remember.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was before sunscreen, too.
I think General Bragg had his headquarters close by that.
That's when the chlorine got loose on us.
Yeah. That's when they lost.
So I hate to continue to interrupt what is normally the Richard Chastain show that's going on right now. We recognize it seems like probably too often. But I do have a very important recognition. So this is signed by Chief Jason Williams, and Chief Williams received the following from Sergeant Brandon. And I'll recognize the chief at the podium in just a minute for any comments he'd like to make. On May 20th, 2020, officers received a dispatch to 304 Lee Street regarding a 3-month-old not breathing. Officer Jessica Taylor arrived within 2 minutes of the dispatched call, was able to identify that the child was not breathing, and began CPR on Casey Lightfoot, female, 3 months. During Officer Taylor's CPR, the child began to breathe, and Coffee County EMS, along with Tullahoma Fire Department personnel, arrived on the scene. Casey was responsive in the ambulance, breathing on her own and looking around when she was transported to Tenova Healthcare Harton. Officer Taylor's quick response, recognition of severity of the medical emergency, immediate action, and effective CPR resulted in saving the life of Casey Lightfoot. I'm proud of Officer Taylor's action and to have her as part of this team. Her actions bring great credit upon the City of Tullahoma, Tullahoma Police Department, and the citizens we serve. I'm very proud to receive notifications such as these when it comes to how our men and women work and operate within our community. Showing such care and concern, as well as staying calm and taking immediate action to save an infant's life, is as great a representation of what it means to protect and serve. Then this is regarding the same incident, also from Chief Williams. I want you all to know how proud I am of you for your actions of bravery and determination in response to the house fire on South Washington Street. The lady you rescued from the house is no doubt indebted to you all for saving her. This job is tough and a thankless job, especially with all the current societal unrest. It is great moments like these that help remind everyone of how great the men and women who serve are. Thank you for furthering our mission statement and representing our core values, which are tenacity. We are an agency that stands firm and committed to the safety of Tullahoma. Pride. We believe in our mission and our role in Tullahoma, and we take ownership of our work, attitude, and actions. Dignity. We understand the breadth of our legal and moral obligations to ensure the rights and ethical treatment of everyone we serve. Giving respect will inspire respect in return. Thank you all for your service to this agency and this community. Signed, Chief Jason Williams. Chief Williams, I'd like to recognize you at the podium at this time. For any comments you would like to make, please, sir.
I'm going to ask my officers to join me. I know I got to address some of the things, especially with the house fire during the last Alderman meeting. But I just want to talk just very briefly about the heart of a servant and just the things that I respect so much about these men and women and their ability to stay calm in the face of fear and to quiet that inner voice that tells them to protect themselves and put that aside and rush into whatever situation it is because they know and they understand and they appreciate the greater good. The only thing I can say is that it is an honor to stand up here amongst my men and women and to serve with them. So, thank you all.
Chief, let me ask each of the men and women to introduce themselves, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Start with David.
I'm the new guy. I'm Officer Young.
I'm Officer Lee. Officer Taylor.
Officer Cole.
That's good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor and Alderman, if I could also say just to both Chief Williams and Sheila Rico, I think both of these are perfect examples of the importance of all the training that you do and having excellent instructors and leaders that really helps you to do the exceptional work that you do. And I appreciate all the hours that you put in to training and making yourselves ready for these types of events. So thank you.
Good. Very good comment. Thank you. Okay, anyone in the audience have anything to address the board that's not later on the agenda? Seeing none, we will proceed. We're ready for board reports. Mr. Mathis, please, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. We're very aware of this virus that's going around right now, but we may become more so in that I was on the board of control for TSSAA for years, and I ended up being the vice president, and I've had dealings with them in the last month or two. Quite often they'll call me and we'll just kick around what's going on, but I would not be surprised at all. Now, I wouldn't be surprised the other way as well, that we may not have fall sports as we know them now. We may not have them at all. They may cut them out totally. We're going to find out what the governor's going to do. But right now, it's up in the air, and we just may not have them at any time. So, and even if we do, if we have sports, and these kids are going to have to wear masks, they're going to have to stay away from each other, there will be no crowds, zero. So it's going to be a mess. But don't be surprised if the sports are done away with in the fall.
Yeah. Well, let's hope
Don't
they-
know about school yet, but we'll see. I know school's supposed to start, but I don't see that happening, but it will.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah, thank you. Mr. Berry?
No board report, but your hair looks great, sir.
You probably missed my explanation a few minutes ago, so I'll catch up with you later. Tell you the story. Thank you. Ms. Blackwell?
I have a couple of things. The first thing is we had our first Diversity Council meeting, which was really an informal meeting where we could hear from different members of pretty much anyone in the community who wanted to come and chat with us and tell us what they wanted to see come from the council itself. I would say we had really good attendance. It was, I thought, a fantastic open meeting where people actually got to say their concerns and their thoughts and things that they wanted to achieve from it. Our next steps with that, I'm pretty sure, and I emailed poor Mrs. Moody, who gets this giant list from me every week, but I emailed her, I think our next steps right now are to form a bylaws committee. And I think we have a couple of different drafts already that have been proposed and some people who want to serve on it, which is good. So I'll find out with her what I need to do next in terms of that. So that's happening with that. Other thing we have is the school board meetings tonight, so I'll be running over to that from here. I know that there's a lot of talk out there about what's happening with our school system, and I just, all I can think of is how important it is and how very obvious it is to me in my dealings with our school board and what I see from our administrators in the position I'm in, how much they clearly care about our students and how much thought they're putting into it. So I know, I hear a lot from people about, how's this going to work? What's this going to look like? And I tell people to please be patient. They're forming these plans. It's really hard to figure all of this out. And as Alderman Mathis just said, it's an ever-changing process right now. We have no idea what that could look like. So I'll be going to that meeting in a little bit. Other things that we have going on, I'm trying to think what else. Planning Commission, we just had that meeting. We already talked about that. So I think that's about it. One thing I'm doing separately from being an alderman is Jefferson Street Park. We're trying to fundraise to help redo the actual basketball courts itself, and fundraising is going pretty well. So I'm excited. Hopefully by the next 2 weeks from now. So I wanted to have fully fundraised by the end of this month. So I'm hoping that actually is the plan. I think I'm at like 15,000 committed. So committed. That means I have to chase people down and ask for checks, which some of you might be. Yeah. So, but it's going well, and I'm excited about that. I was thinking about it. So I was working on writing a column for I guess it's a column. Aaron McCullough would correct me. For the newspaper about community engagement, how important it is, I think, for all of us to be engaged within our community. And also, you kind of get what you put into your community, I think, like as a citizen myself. So I was just thinking about how exciting it is to see people around, surrounding this project and wanting to be involved.
Yeah.
So I love it. Yeah.
I think you said there were about 80 people that attended the diversity.
Yeah, I would say, and that would include kids. So the actual list itself had 54 names on it.
That's amazing.
But that didn't include like there are people in this room whose names are on it, but were at it. So I'd say probably around 80 people, and children weren't on it either. So it was good. And what's interesting is a lot of youth wanted to be a part of it. Yeah. So it's fantastic. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you. Good report. Dr. Blacks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Wasn't able to be with you guys 2 weeks ago because I had surgery, but I'm on the mend, and I feel a lot better. Thanks for the plant. Alderman Dunn.
You're welcome.
I hadn't killed it yet.
Well, good.
Since our last meeting, TUA, I Zoom met with them. Happy to announce we have signed our 4,000th light tube customer, which was a big milestone. That was Jared Olive and Macy, newlyweds that we went out and presented them a sign to put in their yard and also some goodie bag, and because they were the 4,000th one to sign up. I think when I came on the board, we might have been at 2,500 or 2,000, so we really done well. You need a gigabyte fast internet, that's the way to go. Plus, when you call, somebody can speak Southern English to you and understand your problem and take care of you, usually same day. One thing I would like to do, we're wearing these masks, they get aggravating. When I go home at night, I still feel like I have a mask on, like when you wear a hat. It's just a weird feeling. I'm sick of it, everybody's sick of it, but maybe we can be patient I'd pray for the people that are working on vaccines, because that's going to be our, get out of jail card, sort of, from having to stay away from people. And I mean, the social distancing, messes with everything, if you think about it. But I think we've let our guard down a little bit, and we thought we were over the hump, but I don't think we are yet. So hang in there, wear your mask when you're out, when you're in a group. I'd like to remind everybody to shop Tullahoma if they can. If you can get it here, get it here. The last thing that I'd like to talk about, I wasn't here for the last reading of the budget. And the time before that, I talked about raises for the mayor. I'm going to also include aldermen on that. Ms. Jennifer provided us with a comparison of mayor and board council member salaries over comparable cities, some bigger than us, from like Bristol, Eastridge, Cookeville, down to, Sevierville, and we're a little bit right around average, I guess, of what we pay our governing body, but we have not had a raise since 1993. That is 27 years, if I'm doing my math right. So I propose that we increase the mayor's salary to $15K a year, and the aldermen go up to about $7,500. That's about a 38% increase over salaries. What does that work out to dollars and cents? It's about $37,600 a year, what we're paying now coming out, and that would bump it up to about $60,500. So, mayor's job, there's a lot to it. I know you said it wasn't a full-time job, but it can be a full-time job if it's done right. So I think you need to be compensated.
So you want to place this on the agenda for the next meeting?
I would like to place this on the agenda for the next meeting.
Okay.
And that's all I have. Do we have to get up?
No, you
Put it on.
Yeah.
So if y'all have any questions, give me a call, email me, and I'll try to explain my rationale. But it's been a long time, it's hard to ask specifically somebody that's on the board to ask for a raise, but 27 years is a long time. So I think the time is right. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Ms. Dunn.
All right, well, I think we're entering the 5th month of the shutdown crisis. So we're entering chronic stress levels.
Mm-hmm.
So within families, community, worldwide. So I think if anybody in this audience or listening at home is experiencing stress to the point where they feel like they might harm themselves or someone else, we do have the National Foundation for Suicide Prevention. That's a toll-free number. The Haven of Hope is in Manchester, but they also serve Tullahoma. So if anybody out there is experiencing any sort of violence, whether it's verbal or physical violence, the Haven of Hope is a resource for people in Tullahoma as well. And you don't have to be married to utilize that service. That can just be partners. Anti-Drug Coalition, this is a time where a lot of times people try to cope with things that aren't necessarily healthy. And again, even though they're located in Manchester, they are available for the people of Tullahoma as well. So. To move on, I know Alderman Blackwell mentioned community engagement. I think one of the reasons why Tullahoma is where we are is we've got, if you were to pay the volunteers that work in Tullahoma minimum wage, we are looking at millions of dollars of hours of time that people are spending. And I want to say a big thank you to our Go Green group, who we meet monthly, the first Monday of every month at 5 o'clock. And we've got these. So I'm really excited. These were gifted by the CFC Recycling Center. So these are decals. These are window clings. So if you are a business and you recycle in Tullahoma, these are free for you. If you are a citizen and you'd like to have one to put on your car or whatever, we're just trying to encourage more people to recycle. So, you can put those those plexiglass to use. You can just stick that right there. You know, we've got lots of those now. So, but anybody who wants one here today, and I can give one to anybody here. So I appreciate that, but that's all I have.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Dunn. Mr. Norris, please, sir.
Thank you. Mayor, I'm always amazed after I have to follow this lady.
Yeah.
Because it makes me feel so inadequate, because she's doing so much and working so hard. Let's just say thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
I was at the Diversity Council training. I was only there for a brief session, but I was very impressed with what I saw with that group. So my hat's off to that group that's organizing, and I'm looking forward to things from them. So from the things I've been doing on the board, of course, the airport board meets tomorrow evening. We'll be meeting live and doing social distancing in the airport there. Other than that, just doing a lot of extracurricular activities, Mayor. So that's all I have.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Norris. So the agenda is intentionally light. We do that normally in July. I know at least 3 of you would rather be other places right now, and I understand that. And at least one of you I know is ready for supper. I won't say who, but I could hear Mr. Mathis's stomach from here growling.
You're right.
So the agenda is light. So ready for the city attorney's report.
Well, in light of the light agenda, I have no report tonight.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, Mrs. Moody.
I will share that on June 24th, I participated in the Tennessee Municipal League District 6 meeting. Alderman Noes was on the call as well. It was a Zoom meeting. And one of the purposes for that meeting was to elect officers for the upcoming year. The District 6 director will be Mayor Blake Lay of Lawrenceburg. The alternate director is City Manager Shanna Boyette of Shelbyville. And then, as I was trying to talk Alderman Noes into being nominated, I was nominated for the secretary position, and of course, couldn't turn that down, so I'll be the secretary.
That'll teach you to pay attention.
That's right. Also, last week, I met with Dr. Stevens, City Schools, and we talked mostly about their tennis courts and the project, I believe, to potentially move those, relocate the courts and replace the courts at a new site. And we just are at the very beginning of talking about maybe the maintenance of facilities and athletic fields and how the school system and city partner on those things. So I will let you know if more comes from those discussions. I also was able to attend the ribbon cutting last week for Station 6 Fitness. And I would just say, some of you were there as well. Those of you who were not, I would definitely stop in that facility and talk to them. It's set up differently, I think, than any other gyms or fitness facilities, and it was really well done. Also, just wanted to mention, I don't know if you heard this or not, but our annual event at Beechcraft Heritage Museum, the beach party, has been canceled for this year. I think that's the first time in their history they've ever had to do that. Also, just want to point out that Deputy Fire Chief Tim Stubblefield, he turned in his intent to retire notice. And after, I believe, nearly 30 years of service to the Tullahoma Fire Department, he's going to be retiring at the end of this month. So, sorry to see him go. Of course, we'll never replace him, but we are looking actively for an assistant fire chief and hope to recruit or find one of our own to fill that seat. Always want to give a shout out to the 2020 census. It's still going on. We encourage everybody that can to go online, 2020census.gov, and respond so that we don't have to send workers out to your home to ask you to do that. Coffee County still has a great response rate. We're at 68% now. The state's average is 61.5%. So we are doing well, but it'd be nice to go ahead and wrap it up, get everybody's results. We are still working on a couple of lease agreements, one with Wall Street Alley and London's, another with South Jackson Association. So I may have those at a future board meeting. Also still working with MTAS and their legal team on the request. I know all of you had asked me about how we could move the board elections to the general election cycle. And we know the path and the process, and the authority is there to do it with more seats. What we discovered, and I've been working mostly with MTAS's legal representative, Alicia Hodge, there does not exist that same authority for us to move municipal judges' terms of office or to move the school board members' terms of office. So what I would, and this is what I would think that you would like, is I think we should go ahead and move forward with the resolution for your terms, but we won't experience any cost savings with elections, and we can't get away from elections until we can also move the city judge and the school board. So what we'd like to do, and this is a part that I'm kind of visiting with MTAS, is I think either MTAS should draft a bill that would serve all municipalities and let all of us have that same authority, or if they are not, for whatever reason, if they're not willing to do that, then I think we just approach our representatives about carrying a bill so that we can. And we're basically just looking for the same authority that was written into law that let us extend your terms by 1 or 2 years so that you can sync up with the general election cycle. We would just be looking for a bill that gives us that same authority with elected judges and with elected school board seats.
So the authority for the two that you were talking about is the General Assembly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't do that here.
Yeah, too bad.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's an update on that. And then I wanted to mention to you, we'll probably get done a little bit early tonight. The farmers market is still going on every Monday night at South Jackson from 3 to 7 p.m. And people have asked early on, they were doing a drive-through market and it was really successful. But as more people started to attend the market, they have gone back to a pedestrian market. It just started to be a little bit of a conflict between too many pedestrians and cars. So we've gone back to a pedestrian market. And then last, I'll just point out on the consent agenda, I know one alderman asked for a little bit of clarity. The Navy Bell that we have it is a loan, but we don't pay. It's free for us to use the bell. The only change that's come up is they have asked us to no longer ring it. So that's part of preservation. They're just, I guess, to protect the bell and keep anything from happening to it. And then I wanted to mention on the police building, you're probably seeing a lot of progress now. I know I am. It's really starting to shape out, and I think this week they started on the masonry work, so you're starting to see brick go up on the building. I'm going to be walking through the building tomorrow and from what I understand from Chief Williams, who did that last week, you really can get a sense of each of the office spaces, and it's starting to feel real, I think. The item on tonight's agenda has to do with purchasing security equipment. This is probably just going to be the first of a few items like this where the money is budgeted in our project account, but as we're buying the items that we as the owner have to furnish, I'll have to bring each of those purchases to you if they go over my purchasing authority. Okay. And I think that's all.
Very good. Good report. Okay, ready for the consent agenda. We have 4 items. Item number 20-55, the minutes of the June 22nd, 2020 regular meeting. 20-56, approve renewal of an agreement between the City of Tullahoma and the U.S. Department of Naval History and Heritage Command for a loan of the USS Tullahoma Belle for a 3-year term ending on June 30th, 2023. Item number 20-57, approve the purchase of security equipment for the new police building in the amount of $14,665 from Life Communications and Security, a Tullahoma firm. Item number 20-58, accept a donation of a Mavic 2 professional drone for the Tullahoma Fire Department valued at $2,000. Is there a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented?
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Blackwell, second by Dr. Blanks. All those in favor of the consent agenda as presented, vote green. Opposed, vote no. Motion passes 7-0. We have no old business, we have no new business. So if there's no objection, we stand in adjournment. And we'll go immediately into the beer board portion of the agenda. We have one item, the consent agenda, BB 19, minutes of the June 22nd beer board meeting.
Motion approved.
Motion by Dr. Blanks,
Second.
second by Mr. Noes. All those in favor of the consent agenda as presented, vote green. Opposed, vote no. Motion passes 7-0. If there's no other business, we are adjourned. Everybody have a safe evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have to order.